Oh man, they tried to hoodwink us, man. They tried to get us, man. This Cleveland media, man, and these Cleveland insiders, man, they something else, man. They really tried to hoodwink us, man. They basically gaslighted us about Deshaun Watson. You know, going into OTAs, after one day of OTA, we heard the report came out that Mary Kay Cabot said, "Oh, Deshaun Watson looks so good, man. You might as well just give him the quarterback one position, man. He looks brilliant out there, man. He looks like he's rejuvenated. Looks like he's bounced back from these injuries. He's out there moving around. Oh, yeah, you had shorts on. You had a T-shirt on, and you're out there moving around looking good. Just building him up, just because y'all have this dislike for just Shedeur Sanders. And it's eventually caught up to you guys because Shedeur Sanders balled out in OTAs. And that's just the bottom line. Y'all tried to gaslight us about Deshaun Watson out there looking so good. But now there's rumblings out there that basically he wasn't looking so good in OTAs. It's a lot of mixed reviews, a lot of different opinions, but we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Step, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your cockpits. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man. I got something to say.
Well, guys, you know I got something to say, man. Hey, they tried to get us, man. They tried to hoodwink us. They tried to gaslight us about Deshaun Watson looking so brilliant in OTAs, man. Now, I've been getting mixed reviews now that OTAs is over. Now you're leading into the mini camp. I've been getting some mixed reviews about Deshaun Watson's performance in OTAs. They said Deshaun Watson was throwing a lot of ill-advised balls, a lot of picks that he shouldn't have thrown. And, you know, he's a 9-year veteran. So he should look pretty good in OTAs, but some reports saying, you know, he wasn't looking too sharp in OTAs. And this is the dislike they have for Shedeur Sanders. Anybody but Shedeur. They was trying to big Deshaun Watson up like he was just head and shoulders above Shedeur Sanders in OTAs. But see, Shedeur Sanders' performance in OTA has caught a lot of people's attention, and a lot of these media personnel and these insiders are trying to, you know, waver. They don't know what side to be on, man, because Shedeur Sanders is proven to everybody that he's an elite quarterback. Just give him a chance. Todd Monken has said so many times that Shedeur Sanders has made leaps and bounds from last year. And a lot of media personnel in Cleveland are seeing that. And this is what they try to do, is they try to gaslight Deshaun Watson just because they don't like Shedeur Sanders. And then they want to talk about this Brendan Sorsby. Just because he got cleared, they talking about, you know, still potentially drafting him in 2027. And that's what the clown Anthony Lima likes to do. He has no respect for Shedeur Sanders and always want to look into different quarterbacks. But now Anthony Lima is making himself look bad because of the fact that, you know, he's trying to say some good things about Shedeur, but they're underhanded compliments. But they was telling us all OTA long that Deshaun Watson was out there performing better than Shedeur Sanders. Everybody wanted to just give Deshaun Watson the keys and let him rock out. But nah, you got Shedeur Sanders there. Shedeur Sanders has impressed everybody in OTAs, from the coaching staff, from the head coach, the coaching staff on down. And some of these Cleveland media personnel are starting to see that, and they starting to see the work that Shedeur Sanders has put in. And they was like, hold up, man. Maybe this guy does have something. So I'm sitting there listening to Ken Carman and Anthony Lima discuss some of these things. Now it's almost like it's a quarterback competition. It's neck and neck. But where was this same energy earlier when one of your compadres put a report out and said Deshaun Watson should be quarterback 1? So let's take a listen to what these guys was talking about. It's very interesting on what they were saying. So it's basically Ken Carman was like, Deshaun Watson is a 9-year vet. He should look good out there in shorts and a T-shirt throwing. But let's take a listen to what these guys had to say.
You're going to be able to do that in T-shirts and shorts.
I know.
Because I guarantee Todd Monken's thinking the same thing we all were. Like, it's got to be playing into the back of his head going, yeah, he's a veteran. He should look better, but we're in T-shirts and shorts. They all look great.
The amount of interceptions both these dudes are throwing are pretty incredible.
So, and honestly, the tie goes to Shedeur if they're both throwing picks.
Yeah,
does it not?
I know there's like 7-on-7 picks that they'll say, well, don't ever throw the ball away. In 7-on-7, you've got to. There are other purposes of these drills, but still to see like the one that Watson threw at the end of last week, I'm glad like, how is this even possible?
I'm glad you brought it up. Like, there's certain picks that I've seen, and they've been bouncing off of people's hands and things like that. And then there's certain picks that you see, and it's like, that was the wrong read. Well, not a lot of people. This is why I think that the whole completions and incompletions and touchdowns and picks thing during camp is pretty asinine, but whatever. We're going to continue to use it until Kingdom Come, even though it's silly. We don't know the situation. Only Todd knows the coaches know the situation, and they do. So if it was truly the wrong read and truly a mistake like that, that goes into consideration. But I do think it's playing a little bit with Todd Monken's psyche where, yeah, you look good in T-shirts and shorts. He's always looked good in that part of training camp. He's all with the exception of a couple years ago where everybody said his arm was great with the exception of Zach. Zach was like the only one, Tone, who was telling us that his arm wasn't that great. But this time around, it's like, all right, let's see if Shedeur has a chance to take over this job. I get more excited if Shedeur has a chance to take over the job because I think it's way more fun talking about Shedeur than it is the other guy. If I don't think the team's going to do that incredibly well this year. So I'm rooting for Shedeur to win the job.
Now, I still said I think what would actually be more ideal for Shedeur, ironically, would be starting the season off the bench, watching Watson most likely fail, and then coming in while the offensive line has a chance to gel. Brand new offensive line, and those weapons aren't they're rookies on week one. But in the NFL, when guys are good, like that rookie label gets shed pretty quickly. Yeah. And then by like week 5, it's like, oh yeah, no, they're good. Like this kid's good. This guy knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
And so that's why I thought, ironically, as heated as this is between fans, media, and maybe the players, maybe coming off the bench and allowing things. It's not like last year where Shedeur started as the 4th-stringer. And yeah, then they got rid of, I can't even remember his name. They got rid of
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett. And so
then
now
Joe got banged up.
So now he's the 3rd, and he's not really preparing.
Replaced, should say.
Third, you could say, hey, you should always be preparing to start. But the reality is, if you're 3rd string, you're not preparing to start. You're mentally not. You can't.
Well, what if you're 4th string? What are you preparing to do?
Right.
So that makes
prepare to say goodbye to Kenny Pickett.
That makes it even more difficult there. I think Dylan Gabriel's probably going to find out what that's like at some point here this year. I hate to say it. All right, 216-474-0092. So, but does it make people feel better that there's a neck-and-neck race? Because if you just think that both guys are bad, there's nothing I can do for you.
Well, if you think both guys are bad and they're neck and neck, then you're thinking about next year's class or Brendan Sorsby.
Because I think there's two different. Well, there's two different things. You can look to next year's class or Brendan Sorsby, or you think that both are terrible. That's it. There's two sides to that, and I think the other side of it is that you do think that maybe one of these guys can be gold for you, and you can possibly get something out of these guys. I would think this way. With the move that they just made, I know that they got Verse back. It does tell me that they don't think that they have very much in the position. Because if they did, they'd just hold on to who they have. They didn't do that. Because you don't get worse and still try to get better. That's not how that's going to go. So you're still worse than where you were. No disrespect to Jared Verse. You're still a worse football team then. But if you had him playing, it just comes down to who do you like talking about more? Do you like talking about Deshaun Watson more? Or do you like talking about Shedeur Sanders more?
Man, now you heard what these guys had to say, man. This is crazy. Because early on in OTAs, all you guys was talking about was Deshaun Watson, how Deshaun Watson was out there looking, and the infamous quarterback tracker was back. Y'all put emphasis on Deshaun Watson throwing these touchdowns. But when y'all talking about it now that OTA is over and the impression that Shedeur Sanders has left on this coaching staff, now y'all are forced to walk back some of your comments and play on the other side of the fence. Y'all sit there, the media and the Cleveland insiders, y'all gaslighted us about the way Deshaun Watson looked out there. But if you listen to some of these reports, they're saying that Deshaun Watson didn't look too great in OTAs. That's the problem that I have, because y'all built Deshaun Watson up so much because y'all don't like Shedeur Sanders and don't want to give Shedeur Sanders a chance to be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Y'all was trying to make Deshaun Watson look good at all costs. But now that OTAs is over, I'm listening to all the rumblings and all the sources that been here on Cleveland, ESPN, Cleveland, the Morning Hustle, the Morning Drive. They talking about Deshaun Watson did not look that good in OTAs. And Shedeur Sanders stood out. But the whole time OTAs was going on, y'all was gaslighting us, giving us false reports, giving us bad narratives, just giving your own personal opinion because y'all don't like Shedeur Sanders. That's crazy work. Man, look, y'all get down in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about today's video, man. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.